Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on the screen. Those who are attending in online. Guys, please check it. All of you are getting my voice on the screen. Those who are attending in online. Okay, fine. All right. Good morning, guys. And check it what we completed in the last session. So I think so. We are discussing about JDBC drivers. In JDBC drivers, almost all one driver here we completed. The driver is type 1 driver, then how it is available for us, even that one also we here we understand clearly. All right, sir. Next one is after that. Now let's understand the points here. What exactly the content here we understood. Driver is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems. Am I right or not? But its implementations are provided by all the database vendors. All database vendors have provided their own implementations for driver, part of the JDBC abstraction, and all the database vendors provided drivers are divided into 5 categories, 5 types. What are the 5 types of this JDBC drivers now? Type 1 driver, type 2 driver, type 3 driver, type 4 driver, then a type 5 driver. All these many drivers are existed. Next one, type 1 driver. If you observe this, what exactly this type 1 driver here? All right. When Sun Microsystems introduced Java.SQL.driver as an interface to the market, Sun Microsystems has given an option to all the database vendors to provide their own implementations for driver. All database vendors are ready to provide their own implementations to the driver, but all database vendors have requested to the Sun Microsystems about to provide one model implementation or a showcase or a sample implementation for the driver. With that request, Sun Microsystems has provided a model implementation for the driver. That model implementation is nothing but type 1 driver. Sun Microsystems has provided this model implementation in the form of sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver. Because of this reason only, this type 1 driver is called as like what there JDBC ODBC driver. Type 1 driver is also be called as what there JDBC ODBC driver, or in other words, bridge driver. You can call it as like what there bridge driver. Even I want to add even that point also. Understand it clearly. So what's the point I'm telling there? Type 1 driver is also called as JDBC ODBC driver or simply bridge driver. Names are available, different names, not any other one. Next one is, after understanding this, how Sun Microsystems has provided a type 1 driver. Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver with the interdependent on Microsoft product ODBC driver. So if it is a case, first we have to install ODBC driver in our system to use type 1 driver. Moreover, it is interdependent on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. So because of that reason, it is bounded to the Microsoft products only. It is bounded to the Microsoft products only, not available to other platforms. So portability will be very less. Next, how this driver is working internally. When we execute JDBC program where we have used type 1 driver, first Java representations must be converted to the ODBC representations. Next, ODBC representations must be converted by ODBC driver to the database representations. Again, in the reverse process, no, when the database operations are performed, when results are getting out from the database, then automatically that results are available in database representations, which are converted to the ODBC representations by ODBC driver, and that ODBC representations are converted to Java by JDBC ODBC driver. Understand clearly? So here we are performing 2 times conversions. How many times conversions can we performed here? No, 2 times conversions can we performed. When we are performing 2 times conversions now, automatically that transmission time may be taken more. So overall execution time will be increased here. When more execution time is available, automatically performance of the application will be reduced. This is one thing. Next, another point is, due to the compatibility with Microsoft components like Windows operating system, it is suggestible for only standalone applications. It is not suggestible for enterprise applications or distributed applications. Moreover, this type 1 driver is only a showcase. It's a model implementation only. It is not for commercial purpose. Just for a simple JDBC applications purpose only, we are able to use this. This is not for serious JDBC applications, means that complex JDBC applications. Right now, moreover, this type 1 driver was provided by Sun Microsystems in Java up to Java 1.7 version only. After that Java 1.7 version, this JDBC driver, type 1 driver is not existed inside the Java. If we use type 1 driver in Java applications from Java 1.8 version onwards, there we are able to get an exception. That exception would be class not found exception here we are able to get. That's majorly. These are the various points can be understood about this type 1 driver. And already I shown some diagrammatic representations also clearly. Right, sir, leave this one. Now let's come for the second type of driver, that is like what there, type 2 driver. Type 2 driver. What is this type 2 driver actually? What is the meaning of this type 2 driver? It is also called as part Java, part native driver. Part Java, part native driver. It's also be called as like what there, part Java, part native driver. So what is the meaning of it now? It was designed on the basis of Java implementations. It was designed on the basis of Java implementations, and the database vendor provided native library. It was not designed purely on the basis of Java. It was not purely on the basis of Java. It was designed some part on the basis of the Java and some other part on the basis of like what there no database vendor provided native library. Let's see, it's a diagrammatic representation. By that we are able to get some clarity. Right, sir. All of you observe this clearly. Now this is my Java application. This is exactly like what there Java application. And then after that, this is database. This is database. This is Java application and this is database. Now here, what's the point I'm telling you? Then after that, here we are able to have a driver. Right? This driver is designed on the top of Java and as well as what they know, the database vendor provided native library. Anyway, here we are specifying like what there DB vendor provided native library. Definitely by default Java is available. The note is specified the Java implementation separately. Java is available, But on the basis of like what there, DB vendor provided native libraries. DB vendor provided native libraries. This is exactly like what their JDBC driver. Now in this scenario, then what I am telling here, when we execute JDBC applications, Java representations are giving to JDBC driver. Now JDBC driver is not having any two-step process, no. Directly it will convert the Java representations to what they know, database representations. Database engine will execute the database representations, performing some database operations and generating some results in the same database representations. When results are coming in the database representations, the results are given to the JDBC driver. Now JDBC driver will convert the results from Java, that means database representations, to the Java representations. Where directly here we are able to get results in what their Java representations directly. But everything is going on the basis of what they know, database vendor provided native library. This is a dependency for us. In the case of type 1 driver, it is largely depending on the ODBC driver, that is Microsoft product. Almost all we can say that is a platform dependent. That is a dependent on the Microsoft products. Operating system dependent. But this is what there, it is not operating system dependent. This is database vendor dependent. This is what actually database vendor dependent. Observe carefully. So Java application is available, database is existed here, JDBC driver is available. Now the JDBC driver is a type 2 driver. It is designed on the top of Java implementations and some native implementations which are provided by database vendor. So this is the type 2 driver scenario, the type 2 driver structure here. Observe carefully. Then after that, what is that next point here I'm telling to you? After completion of this, here the point is what there. If we want to use, type 2 driver, if you want to use type 2 driver in JDBC applications, then we have to install the database vendor provided native libraries in our machine. That is the first point here we have to understand. This is one dependency level. Next, I'm giving some advantages of this type 2 driver. Now try to understand it clearly. It is a more portable driver. It is more portable driver when compared with type 1 driver. How, sir? How can you say like this? Do you have any reason for it? No. Yes, there is a reason. What is the reason here? No. It is not dependent on the Microsoft components. It is not dependent on what they know, Microsoft components. Right, sir. Observe carefully. It is not dependent on like what their Microsoft components. This is one reason here. Next one is, observe carefully, all of you know. How many times conversions it is taking, sir? In the case of type 1 driver, 2 times conversions here it has taken. Am I right or not? But here, how many times conversions it has taken there? Now tell me, only 1 times conversion only here it has taken. So it is somewhat faster driver or not? When compared with the type 1 driver, it is a faster driver or not? Right, sir. Now get the point what I'm telling there. It is a faster driver when compared with a type 1 driver. It is more portable driver when compared with the type 1 driver. Then other point is what there. It is a faster driver when compared with a type 1 driver. So it does not require 2 times conversions. It doesn't require 2 times conversions. It requires only 1 time conversion. 1 time conversion to connect with or to interact with the database. Only 1 time conversion is required. So whenever it is a faster driver, then what is the performance of this driver here? Performance will be improved or not? If it is a faster driver, then definitely performance wise, some changes are available here. It will improve, it will improve performance of the applications. It will improve performance of the applications. Right, sir. It will improve performance of the applications, JDB's applications. It will improve performance of the JDB's applications when compared with the type 1 driver. When compared with the type 1 driver. Right, sir. This is another thing here we have to understand. Next one is after completion of this, it is a faster driver and it is like what there, somewhat portable driver, more portable driver when compared with the type 1 driver. All the points are okay. But where we are able to use this driver, where we are able to utilize this driver, again here it is a suggestible for standalone applications only. Still it is suggestible for what there, standalone applications only. It is not suggestible for, this is not suggestible for what they know, right, server side applications. It is not suggestible for what there, server side applications. Moreover, it is dependent on the database vendor provided native library. When we are able to get the database vendor provided native libraries, actually when we have taken database license, then only we are able to get them. All of you get my point or not? So whenever we are getting the database licenses, no, then only we are able to get it. So I can say it is costful driver. It is what there, costful driver. It is not economical driver. It's like what there, costful driver. Understand my point here? It is not a economical driver. Definitely we have to take some what they know licenses here if you want to use this particular driver. Then only we are able to get database vendor provided native libraries. Otherwise we may not get them. So it is a costful driver, not easy to manage this driver in our applications. Unfortunately, cost will be there. Then moreover, it is somewhat heavyweight driver also. More execution time is going on in a relative comparison. But when compared with the type 1 driver, its performance is very good. But when compared with other drivers, no, it's not much good. Definitely some drawbacks are available. They are the drawbacks mainly. Not suitable at a server-side environment and not suggestible for enterprise applications. No. Heavy driver and costful driver. So many problems can we are able to get clearly. Right, sir. Because of these reasons only, we have to go for like what there, some other drivers. Next drivers can we are able to understand. Right now, let's come for this next driver, guys. All of you know, observe carefully. What is this next driver here? We are understanding there. That is type 3 driver. Understand it? Type 3 driver. Then once again, I'm telling to you, just this is only overview of the drivers only. But when I'm going to use these drivers in JDB's application, there I will show what practically we are going to use for this driver. But at present, just we have to understand like what there, only overview, somewhat theoretical information of this driver. My main focus is on like what there, what is the requirement of the driver, what is driver actually, what driver will do internally, how many types of drivers are available, where I'm discussing about the types of drivers clearly. Right. Let's understand this clearly. Type 3 driver. Now, I'm giving one statement and try to understand it. Type 3 driver is also called as middleware server access driver. Type 3 driver is also called as like what there, middleware server access driver. Yes, there is a name here for it. Or simply, or simply, or simply network driver. Or simply what there, network driver. Right, sir. Understand one more point here. Type 1 driver and type 2 driver. Type 1 driver and type 2 drivers are meant for which applications? No, standalone applications. Both are meant for what they know, standalone applications. But type 3 driver, was provided exclusively for which applications can know? Server side applications. Type 3 driver exclusively for what applications can know? Server side applications. Try to understand this clearly what I'm telling there. Right, sir? Then type 1 and type 2 drivers are meant for standalone applications, but a type 3 driver was designed for what purpose they know? For server side application development. Right, sir. Next, if you observe this, it's interdependent now. Type 3 driver, it is interdependent on the middleware components, in other words, I'm telling there, it is interdependent on the middleware components which are provided by the application servers, which it is dependent on the middleware components which are provided by the application servers. See, by this here I'm telling there. What's the point I'm telling there with this conclusion? No, answer my point here. Due to this reason, to use type 1 driver, we must have an application server, in our system. Under the application server only, this type 3 driver is working. Under what there? Under the application server environment only, type 3 driver will work. If application server is not available, then there is no chance for using what there? Type 3 driver. So definitely here application server is required. Why? Because it is dependent on the middleware component which is provided by application servers in general. Yes, sir. Understand it clearly what I'm telling to you now. Let's observe carefully these points now. Now here, then I want to give some diagrammatic representation. Now try to understand this. What application server here is available, then what exactly the meaning of this type 3 driver, how it is going on here. Now as is now, this is like what I'm telling to you, a Java application, and this is like what I'm telling to you, a database. Now this is mainly for enterprise applications. This is mainly for what applications? They know enterprise applications. This is like Java applications and database here. Our enterprise application must enterprise applications must be executed with the application server. Now think of it, this is like what I'm telling to you, application server, app server, maybe WebLogic or maybe Tomcat or whatever it may be, some application, some server. Inside this application server here, two components are existed. What components are existed here? This is like what I'm telling there, JDBC driver. Inside this application server, the driver is existed actually. This is like what their JDBC driver. JDBC driver. Okay. Now the JDBC server is required support from what they know, a middleware component which is provided by application server. This is middleware component. Then what is the name of this middleware component? But everything is abstracted, that is internal part of the servers. Even this JDBC driver is also be the counterpart of the application servers. Inside the application servers, automatically it will come. That means what I'm telling there, explicitly we are not going to do anything now. When we install application server, automatically this setup will come for us. Understand my point here? So application servers provided driver it is. We are not going to do anything extra for getting this one. Automatically, application servers are having their connection pooling or maybe some mechanisms internally. Part of that, this driver will come automatically. Right, sir. Now here, these two things are having communicated. Just these two are having like what they're communicated, interdependent. These two things are like what I'm telling, they're dependent. Internally, they are existed here. They're having some communication internally, but don't think about it. This middleware component is not a converter. It is not converting anything now. So this total setup is a single JDBC driver is available, which is on the top of the middleware component, which is provided by application server. Now here, what's going to be happen here? Whenever we are executing our JDBC application, directly that Java representations would be taken by this driver, and it will convert directly the Java representations to what they know, database representations. Then whenever we have given the results back to the driver, which are in database representations, then directly it able to convert that database representations into Java representations. Right, sir. Now this is what exactly the meaning of like what there type 3 driver that we can understand. So only one point here we have to understand, guys. Now all of you observe carefully. In this diagram here we are able to provide. So that's what I'm telling there. It's a middleware component which is provided by application server. That is an abstraction. There is an internal component of what their application servers. If you are the server administrator, then we may think about it. But as being the Java developer, not required here. But internally, some middleware components are used by this type of drivers. What exactly the names, they are not going to be available clearly. Understand it clearly. What I'm telling you now. Right? Next one. After completion of this, let's move on to this point here. Now tell me, by seeing this driver representation, all of you observe carefully. I already said to you, it is an internal dependent on the middleware component which are provided by the application servers. From one server is providing one type of middleware component, other server may provide some other, but we are not going to have any standard name for it. It's simply a middleware component which is provided by application servers internally. So even Java developers not required to know what is that internally inside the servers. Leave it, it's an abstraction. Totally that depends on like what their third-party application servers anyway. Alright, sir, to use type 1 driver, type 3 driver, not type 1 driver, to use type 3 driver, we must have an application server in our system. Then only it is possible. Right, sir. Now tell me, I'm giving clarity for you. Type 1 driver is exclusively for what applications? No, standalone applications. Okay, fine. Type 2 driver is also be for standalone applications. Now type 3 driver is for what? Their server side applications. One simple example I'm telling you now. In outside, standalone applications and enterprise applications, server side applications are going on. Now tell me, what is the ratio of the applications are standalone applications? What is the ratio of the applications are enterprise applications? No, just 5% of the applications are what their standalone application. Remaining 95% of the applications are what their enterprise applications only. So then, which is server utilization is more in outside? No. Which one? Which driver utilization is more in outside? No. Type 3 driver utilization is more in outside. That means type 3 driver is available more in outside or not? Type 3 driver is available more in outside or not? So that is one point I am telling there. There also we can conclude type 3 driver is what there. Type 3 driver is a like a more portable driver when compared with type 1 and type 2 drivers. Come for this. Another point I'm telling you, another direction. I'm giving clarity to you, try to understand it. Type 3 driver is a more portable driver. Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, why? Because it is not dependent on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. It is not dependent on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. Next, it is not dependent on the database vendor provided native library. Got my point or not? It is not dependent on the ODBC driver. It is not dependent on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. It is not dependent on like what there and database vendor provided native library. Got my point or not? So it is dependent on application server, but nowadays 95% of the applications required application server only. 95% of the applications are running on the top of what they know application server. So application server is minimum. To run our applications, application server is minimum. So in that minimum only we are able to get automatically this driver. So automatically this driver is what they're more portable driver for the applications when compared with type 1 and type 2 drivers. So 5% of the utilization is available for type 1 and type 2 drivers. But remaining 95% of the utilization is available for what driver care? No, this type 3 driver care. So this is what their more availability is available for us. More availability is existed here. So this driver is what they know, then a more portable driver when compared with the type 1 and type 2 drivers. This is one point. Next, another point here I'm telling you, try to understand it. No, type 3 driver is a faster driver again when compared with type 1 driver and type 2 driver. Guys, all of you observe carefully. Type 3 driver is a faster driver when compared with type 1 driver and what next one? No, type 2 driver. Why, sir? Why it is a faster driver? Why? Because it doesn't require two times conversions. It doesn't require two times conversions, comma. It doesn't require to load. Doesn't require to load the database vendor provided native library. Not required to wait. Not required to wait to load. Not required to wait to load the database vendor provided native library. Okay, now tell me, it required only application server environment. It required only application server environment in general, in enterprise applications, enterprise application server. Tell me guys, application server is always in on mode or not? Whenever we are executing our applications, no, server side applications, always that application server must be in on mode or not, in up mode or not. Application server must be in a running state or not, always. Right, sir. Then only we are able to execute our applications effectively. Say for example, Facebook is an application, guys. Try to understand it now. That Facebook is a server side application which is running on the top of the Facebook server. That Facebook server is always must be in running state or not? If Facebook server is not in running state, no, how can we access that Facebook every time here? Definitely, if a server side application is ready to provide service for our user request in the sense, always that server, application server must be in a running state here. Understand my point or not? So because of that reason, in general, all the application servers, in general, in enterprise applications, always application server must be in running state. So because of that reason here, we can understand the type 3 driver is a somewhat faster driver when compared with what their type 1 and type 2 drivers. This is one point here. Next one is already given that point here. It is a well suitable is a very meant for network applications, but server side applications there now. But what is the drawback here? No, it is not applicable for what type of applications? Not applicable for standalone applications. Not applicable for what their standalone applications. Next one is, it is not possible to use. It is not possible to use this driver without the application server. So these many problems here we are able to get. But one more advantage here I'm here to be specify now. What is that advantage here? It has some other capability. What is that capability here? Listen carefully. What is that capability it is having there? It able to provide, guys, all of you observe carefully. It able to provide very good environment to connect with multiple databases from multiple Java applications at a time. Please understand this point here. It able to provide very good environment to connect with multiple databases from multiple Java applications at a time. It has that capability, but it is not available with type 1 driver and a type 2 driver. It's available with only what they know, type 3 driver. This is a special capability for type 3 driver. What I'm telling there clearly, now try to understand it. No, I'll show in another representation here, another diagrammatic representation. All of you guys observe carefully. The point here, what I'm telling to you, this driver is having the capability. What capability is available? This is like what there. Type 3 driver, if you say no, type 3 driver, if you observe this, type 3 driver, if you understand it. Now here multiple Java applications are existed. This is one Java application, this is another Java application, and so on. So many Java applications are available. Multiple different Java applications, not same application. Of course, if we take in a single project, no, then multiple Java modules we are able to see. But here I am telling the Java application 1. Similarly, Java application 2. Then at finally here, it is like what there, Java application N. Like this, multiple Java applications are available. But here, we don't have any guarantee to work with only one database. All multiple Java applications may work with different databases. In that way, I prepared this program. So now here, what we required here now, multiple databases here we required. Now this is one database now. This is one database. What database it is actually? Anyway, names I'm going to provide separately. And so on. So many databases are existed. Different names. Any name here we can take, that's depending on your requirement. Now say I want to say this is like what there, Oracle DB. And this I want to say like what there, MySQL DB. And this I want to say like what there, Sybase DB. Different databases. Now here, what I am telling there, all these Java applications will connect with the type 3 driver. Now type 3 driver is having capability to connect with the multiple databases from multiple Java applications depending on these Java applications configurations. Database configurations might be available inside the server now. As per that configurations only, it able to connect with communicate with multiple databases. This is what exactly the scenario is available with the type 3 driver. Right, sir. Right, sir. Just theoretically we can understand now. Programmatically we are going to understand it in the future. But anyway, depending on the situations that I'm going to take now. But again and again I'm telling there, even though these many drivers were explained actually, even though these many drivers are available, but in the application development we are going to utilize max only one driver. What is the driver here now? Type 4 driver. Why it is type 4 driver is only be required for us in the sense, I will explain to you about this type 4 driver clearly. Now try to understand it. So this is about like what the type 3 driver, that what we specified clearly. So type 3 driver is having capability to connect with multiple databases from multiple Java applications. That's okay, fine. Right, sir. Now tell me what we understand about this type 3 driver here. Up type 3 driver is also be called as what their middleware, 1 minute, middleware database server. Middleware database server access driver, or simply what is this no network driver. This name is also important for us. This name is giving more clarity for us. Right, sir. Next one is what there. Type 1 and type 2 drivers are meant for standalone applications, but type 3 driver was provided exclusively for what they know server side applications. It is interdependent on the middleware components which are provided by the application servers. Due to this reason, to use type 3 driver, we must have an application server in our system. Without application server, it is not possible to use this type 3 driver. Type 3 driver is more portable driver. Why? Because it is not dependent on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. It is not dependent on the database vendor provided native library. Type 3 driver is a faster driver when compared with the type 1 driver and type 2 driver. Why? Because it does not require 2 times conversions. It does not require to wait to load the database vendor provided native library. It required only application server environment. In general, in enterprise applications, always application server must be in a running state. So not required to wait for any other dependent now. Already that application server is running state, in the sense middleware component is ready for us. And then JDBC driver is ready to provide its functionality. So no time lag is available here. So because of that reason, it will improve the performance of the JDBC applications. Right, sir. Now here what I am telling there, it will improve JDBC applications performance, JDBC applications performance when compared with type 1 and type 2 drivers. Why? Because it is not dependent on these and no need to wait for the loading of the database vendor provided native library, and not required to go for some other 2 times conversions and all. So definitely it is a faster driver. Whenever it is faster driver, automatically it will improve the performance of the JDBC applications. Next one is what? Next one here, another important capability for this type 3 driver is it able to provide very good environment to connect with multiple databases from multiple Java applications at a time, not one after another at a time here. But this capability is not available with type 1 and type 2 drivers. Next one, it is not applicable for what applications? No, it is not applicable for what applications? No, standalone applications. Why? Because standalone applications are not having any application server. Standalone applications are not having what they know, application servers. Leave this one. It is not possible to use this driver without the application server. It is not possible to use the driver without the application server. So definitely we must provide what their application servers. Right, so this is one point here I'm telling there. Now the next one, the last one, the most important one, the most important driver is what their type 4 driver. Guys, now try to observe this clearly. Type 4 driver. Type 4 driver is also called as pure Java driver. Is also be called as like what there? Pure Java driver. Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, it was designed purely on the basis of Java implementations. That means Java libraries. Purely on the basis of what they know, Java representations only. Purely on the basis of Java programming language only. That's why it is called as what they pure Java driver. Right, sir. Now I'm giving clarity for you. Now try to understand it now. Type 1 and type 2 drivers are mainly for which applications? No, standalone applications. Standalone applications. Now tell me, type 3 driver is mainly for what applications? No, server side applications. But what is this driver? No, type 4 driver is type 4 driver is applicable for both standalone applications and what next one? You know, server side applications. Everybody answer my point clearly. So type 4 driver is applicable for what? There both the types of applications or not? Type 1 and type 2 drivers are mainly for what applications? No, standalone applications. But type 3 driver is mainly for server side applications. But type 4 driver is applicable for both standalone applications and server side applications. Even in this direction also we can say type 4 driver is a more available driver or not? Type 4 driver is a frequently used driver or not? Try to answer my point here. Type 4 driver is a frequently used driver in a JDBC applications. In JDBC application, this is one point. Next one is, now tell me guys, all of you observe carefully. Type 1 driver, type 4 driver. I'm giving more clarity now. Try to understand it. Type 4 driver is more portable than type 1 comma type 2 comma type 2 and type 3 drivers. Why, sir? How can you say like this? Now tell me. What is the reason for it? You have to give answer for this question here. Already I given some points here. Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, it is not. It is not dependent on. It is not dependent on the Microsoft product. What is this? No, ODBC driver, comma. It is not dependent on the database vendor provided. Database vendor provided native library, and it is not dependent on like what there and application server. With or without the application server, it able to execute its a functionality. Type 4 driver will run its functionalities with or without the application servers. Right, sir. Now observe carefully these points here. What I am telling to you. So type 4 driver is a more portable driver than a type 1, type 2, type 3 driver. Why? Because it is not dependent on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. It is not dependent on the database vendor provided native library, and it is not dependent on like what their application server. Observe carefully. With or without the application server, this type 4 driver will be used in our JDBC applications. This is one point. Next one is like what I'm telling there. Type 4 driver is a faster driver. Again here, when compared with type 1, type 2, and type 3 driver. Why? Because the reason is very clear here. Why? Because what's the point I'm telling there? It doesn't require two times conversions like a type 1 driver. Type 1 driver require two times conversion, but it doesn't require that. Next one is what? Next one can know it doesn't require to wait. Doesn't require to wait to load the database vendor provided native library. Understand my point here? Doesn't require to wait to load the database vendor provided native library, and what next one can know, and it is not required to wait to start application server. If application server is in up mode, it's okay, nice. Then we can use type 3 driver directly. But if application server is not in up mode, it is in down, but the status of the application server is down, then where is the chance of using this driver? No, not possible to use this driver here. So because of that reason, there we have to go for like what there? Type 4 driver. The type 4 driver doesn't require application server. Doesn't require application server. Even with or without the application server also, this type 4 driver is able to execute. This is one point here we can understand. So because of that reason, what the type 4 driver know? Type 4 driver will improve JDBC application performance. JDBC application performance when compared with all other drivers, all other remaining drivers. Type 4 driver will improve JDBC applications performance when compared with all other remaining drivers. So this is one point here. Then another point here, what I am telling there, type 4 driver is economical driver. Economical driver. It is not a costful driver. It is the cheapest driver. Type 4 driver is what they know, cheapest driver. It is not costful driver. Not required to get any licenses, or not required to go for any other things. Directly we are able to use them. Why? Because it's a freeware in every database vendor, in every database site. Now we are able to get this one in the form of a jar file. That jar file here we are able to get. Even we can download this Type 4 driver directly from internet with a free of cost. Not required to take anything. It's the cheapest driver to use in our application. Cheapest and best. Cheapest and best driver when compared with all other drivers. Anyway guys, now like this, so many points are existed here with this type 4 driver, but understand it clearly what exactly the diagram here I'm providing about this type 4 driver. Let's observe this clearly what I'm telling to you. 1 minute. So directly no interdependencies, nothing else. No, just directly Java application, and here we are able to have what there database. Then in between this Java application and database, directly we are able to have driver. Now this is like what there type 4 driver in between Java application and database, it is existed. Next one. Now this is like what I'm telling to you, database. Now this is JDBC driver, type 4 driver, direct conversions. We are not having any two times or three times, not directly give information to the driver, then it will represent the data logic into like what they know, database representations, where database representations are executed, where database results are coming there after executing database logic, that results are given to the driver. It will translate the results from database representations to Java representations. Finally, here we are having like what there, the total direct conversions are available. Now this is simply like what there, type 4 driver here we can understand. Right. So now finally, I'm giving one conclusion. In enterprise application development or in any company, after getting job, if you enter into the company, if any of you are saying that, try to provide driver information, provide some driver information. If you are getting this type of question, immediately your thinking should be what, and you should not have any question in your mind. What's that question in general you may get there? If anybody else is saying that, use that some, provide some driver parameters like that somebody else has given information to you, then immediately you should not have any question here. These many types of drivers are available, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5. Then which driver parameters I have to provide? If you are getting this type of question, no, then only one answer for that, no. By default, in enterprise application development, which driver we are going to use? In the sense like what there? Type 4 driver. By default, we have to provide what there? Type 4 driver. Again and again, I'm telling to you, as part of teaching, as part of this content delivery point of view, I'm specifying these many points now. But when we go for application development, nobody is thinking about all the remaining drivers now. Everybody will go for only one driver. That is what they know, type 4 driver. We don't have any particular utilizations for other drivers. Even don't have any question like in which situations I have to use type 1 driver, in which situations I have to use type 2 driver and type 3 driver, type 4 driver. No. Even this kind of questions are also not available. Just leave all these drivers can know. Only one driver only we are going to use. The driver is what they know, type 4 driver. Maybe for testing point of view, I may show programs with the type 1 or maybe type 2 or maybe type 3 drivers. No, but majorly every company is going to use what they know, type 4 driver only. That's it, guys. Now this is a final conclusion here, what I'm telling there, but part of my responsibility, I'm discussing about these many drivers for you clearly. Leave this totally what we completed here, drivers content here we completed. Totally drivers content. Now observe carefully up to know what I discussed with you. Up to know what I discussed with you in our content here. First of all, I given, then storage areas part I have given. What is database? What is database management system? How many types of database management systems are available? Some overview are given. After that, JDBC definitions are given. Then after that, drivers introduction part I have given. In the drivers, what is driver? What is the need of the driver? What is driver? How many? How driver is available to us? Who is providing these drivers to us? Then who are providing these drivers now? How many types of drivers are available? What is the purpose of each and every driver? Then how the working is going on with all the drivers here. So finally, the total drivers information here we completed. Right, guys. Then after that, after completion of this total drivers information, next topic. This is chapter 1. Up to this drivers is what the chapter 1 in our syllabus. That part is completed here. Total introductory part I included in chapter 1 here. Now the second chapter is like what there, steps to prepare JDBC applications. Steps to prepare what there, JDBC applications. Guys, now these steps are important for us. Now from this point onwards, we are going to talk a bit about practicals, a bit about programming touch I'm going to provide about the JDBC applications. No, but first of all, let's see what exactly the environment here we require. What is that environment here we required about this JDBC applications? No, try to understand it clearly. Guys, now first of all, now tell me, what is this JDBC actually? Java database connectivity. Am I right or not? JDBC is what there? Java database connectivity. Clear or not? So Java interacting with the database from Java applications in order to perform database operations from Java application. This is what we are expecting in JDBC. Clear or not? So if we want to prepare JDBC applications, if we want to run JDBC applications, we need database software or not? We need what there? Database software or not? So definitely we have to go for what there, one database software, right, sir? That's why here what I'm telling there, part of this number one here what I'm telling there, download and install, download and install database software, database software. Initially, I'm going to work with what they know, Oracle database. Database software. What database software here I'm going to take? They know Oracle database. This is first one. Definitely we require this. Without Oracle database, we can't do anything. This is one point here. Next one is interacting with the database from Java applications. So database software here we are getting ready. Next one is what then after that, no, from Java application we are connecting with the database or not? From Java application we are connecting with the database or not? Then here what we required here, no, of course this step is not required for you, but as a list I'm telling to you, download and install Java software. Download and install what there? Java software to prepare JDBC application. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? Java and it's related. Download and install Java software and it's related. And it's what they know, related. Related in the sense like what their IDEs, maybe some Eclipse IDE or whatever it may be. Some IDE here we are going to use there. Some softwares, IDEs and related softwares. That means Java software and its related software. Here itself I'm including what there? Eclipse IDE also for development mode, development environment. Right, sir. Next up, number 3. Now observe carefully. After providing these two, no, then third one is like what there? Prepare JDBC application logic in a Java project. Take a Java project, inside the Java project, prepare JDBC application logic in a Java project. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Then now we are able to provide the JDBC application logic in a Java project. Now there I am going to give some sub steps again. For preparing the JDBC application logic, what exactly the things here we have to use. Now here I am going to provide some sub steps. What are the sub points here we are going to understand there? The very first one is load and register driver. Load and register what there? Driver. Point number 1. Point number 2, establish connection between Java application and a database. Establish connection between Java application and a database. Next one, create either statement or prepared statement or callable statement depending on our application requirement. So what we want to create, that is totally depending on your interest. You want to use statement or you want to use like a prepared statement or you want to use callable statement, that is totally depending on your requirement what we want to use there. But we have to use either of this. But we have to use what there? Either of this. Right, sir. Then fourth one, after completion of this, write and execute SQL queries. Write and execute what there? SQL queries. After preparing statement or prepare statement or callable statement there, then we need what there now? Some SQL queries here we have tried and we have to execute that SQL queries. Then only database operations will be performed. Right, sir. Then after that, after completion of this, write and execute SQL queries. Then what next one here we have to provide, you know, close the resources. Close the resources. Then the next one is like what there? Close the resources. That's it, guys. Close the resources like what there? What resources here? No, like connection, comma. If we use any streams, there we are able to close the streams and so on. Connections like connection, comma, statement, comma, and so on. Maybe result stage are different resources might be we are able to use. Then we have to close all the resources clearly. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Now let's observe carefully what exactly the points here I'm telling to you. If you want to prepare JDBC applications, what we required, what environment is required, and what exactly the steps here we required now. First one is like what I'm telling you now. Tell me here now. Download and install what their database software. Oracle database I'm going to use. Next one is download and install Java software and its related softwares. Next one is prepare JDBC application logic in a Java project. Next one is like what there? load and register driver, establish connection between Java application and database, create either statement or prepare statement or callable statement depending on our application requirement, write and execute SQL queries, and the last one is what there, close the resources like a connection statement and so on. Yes, all of you get my point on, but actually here, out of all the steps, what steps here mainly we have to understand conceptually. Installation of these things are very simple. So just it's a matter of clicking next buttons and finish button only. Where downloading and installation of the software is nothing. It's a general awareness for every software engineer. But JDB's application logic in the sense what they're mainly there we have to understand this part mainly. We have to understand this part exactly. So load and register driver, establish connection between Java application and database, create either statement or prepared statement or callable statement depending on our application requirement, write and execute SQL queries, and close the resources like what there, connection statement and so on. Right, sir. But as per my responsibility, I have to show every step inside this total content. Everything I should be responsible here, so I need to show everything clearly. Right, sir. Then I need to talk about what there, how to install database software, how to download database software, and how to install it. First of all, let me check it here in my system. Already, what I have there now, Oracle software is already available with me. Let me uninstall it. Right, sir. What is available with me already? No, Oracle database 18 C Express Edition 18XE is available. So I don't have any specifications for it here. Either I can use this. Either I can use this what there. Directly, I can go for like this. No, okay, fine. From your system, right? Any of the database software here we can use. But I'm telling to all of you know, already if you have some Oracle database in our system, might be some of you are already attending Oracle classes now. Already, if you have Oracle database in our system, don't disrupt that Oracle database. Why? Because it is not suggestible to uninstall existed Oracle database, again reinstalling some newer product or something else is not suggestible always. If you have any mistake in the uninstallation or in the installation process, no, then it will not allow us to again reinstall the same product. Why? Because some temporary files are not allowing us here. So better what I'm telling there, whatever the software Oracle database you are having in our system, try to use that. But I will give directions to you how to communicate with that particular Oracle database. At the end, even after having 100 trials, still your Oracle database is not working for our JDBC applications. No, then only take the responsibility of installing our specific Oracle database. But if you have already Oracle database in our system, not required to disturb that Oracle database. Try to use that Oracle database. I think so. Maximum the people you are using, as per this Oracle classes, no minimum we are using Oracle 12c. Am I right or not? Minimum we are using what database there? No Oracle 12c. Am I right or not? So okay, sufficient. We can use that Oracle 12c. No issues for it. Right, sir. Anyway, then it's going to be might be it's going to be uninstalled here. No need to worry for it. But first of all, let me download Oracle database now. Yes, listen carefully. Let me download Oracle database. From where I'm going to download this Oracle database here. Observe carefully. From Oracle website only here we are going to download. Now let me Google it. Then what I required here now, Oracle download. Just simply I want to say Oracle download. That's enough. Oracle download. Anyway, then first one or two websites are like what their home websites only that we have to collect. So now here first we have to go for like what their Oracle data based software downloads that we are going to use, right? Right click on it and open in new tab. Okay. Then here what I'm telling there no. Okay. All right, sir. Right click on it, then open in new tab. Now observe carefully. What is the present stable version of the Oracle at present? No, 19C is existed here now. 19C is available. Now here either I can use 19C or maybe Oracle database 21C is the latest innovation release. For details about the database, okay, maybe this is one thing here. previous database release softwares also be existed here. Oracle database express editions now. Now everybody understand this clearly what I'm telling to you. ORSL bottle. Right. Let's move on. No problem. Right, sir. Oracle is available in two versions, in two flavors actually. One is Express Edition and other one is Enterprise Edition. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Oracle is available in two flavors. No, what are the two flavors there? One is Express Edition and other one is what there? Enterprise Edition. In two editions, it is available. So relatively, Enterprise Edition is a somewhat heavyweight. Enterprise edition is relatively what they know, somewhat heavyweight when compared with Express edition. Express edition is somewhat what they're lightweight. So if you want to provide some lightweightness in our application, in our system, if you want to get some lightweightness in our system there, definitely better to go for what their Express edition instead of what their Enterprise edition. Already if you have Enterprise edition in our system, just keep maintain that, don't disturb it. No, but in our system, in my system, I'm going to use what they know Express edition here. I want to download and use what their Express edition. Please recognize this point what I'm telling you. Sir, all of you are following my point, so for JDBC, even I'm not moving to the database administration now to have all the features of this Oracle. No, not required. For Java developer, how much database support is required, up to that one I want to use. So because of that reason, in my system, I want to go for like what there Express edition, not what there no Enterprise edition. Please recognize this punch. Right, sir. So here in the Oracle, directly whenever we are using the 19C is available. Maybe of course something else, some information about 21C is also available in enterprise level. In enterprise editions, up to 21C might be existed here. But my requirement is what there, not to go for enterprise editions. No, not to go for enterprise editions. I want to go for what there Express edition. Now let me go for Oracle database Express edition. It is a simple and lightweight. It is sufficient for JDBC application development. All basic functionalities of Oracle database will come with that. Even not complete full stack of the Oracle database. No, not all the features of this Oracle database. No, but required features we are able to get so that we can manage it. All right, sir. Now here, what is available, sir? Now tell me, Oracle database 21C. What is this one? Express edition for what there? Windows 64. There's too much latest version. Yeah, I don't have any problem. We are going to let us try with that. Let's try with this one here now. So Oracle database 21C Express edition. Then before this, then what next one is available here? Before this, other versions are also existed here now. Before this 21C Express edition, maybe 18XE is available. 18C Express edition is available. In Express editions, no, not for every enterprise edition, there is an Express edition. Express editions are having some other versions here. 18XE is available. Then after that, what is available here? No, 21 edition is available here. So now let us take this particular clearly. Now tell me, Oracle database 21C Express edition for what there? So this is my right link to download our software or not? Now directly here, click on this particular one. Click on this download here. Directly it is downloading. Please recognize this. Directly it is downloading there. Almost all it is having 1.8 GB space is required. 1.8 GB weight is available for it. But one more thing I'm telling you, listen carefully. Other than this latest version, if you want to download somewhat older versions, like what versions here, 18XE or maybe some 11XE or something else. After 11XE, directly 18XE is available. After 18XE, 21XE might be available. So what happened there? In the previous versions, if you want to download there, directly whenever we click on this download button, immediately Oracle website is asking to us login details, username and password. Means that if you want to download somewhat older versions, if you want to download somewhat older versions, if you want to download somewhat older versions, you must be the account holder. You must be the account holder of what their Oracle website. So then immediately it is asking there Oracle login. If you are not having any Oracle login there, create account option is available. In that create account option there, In that create account option, if you click on it, automatically sign up form will open there. In that sign up form, provide your credentials. That means create your credentials with Oracle database, with Oracle website. Then whatever the username and password we are getting there, try to specify that username and password. Try to specify that username and password in the respective like what there now, in the respective login details now. Then automatically the respective product is going to be downloaded. But I'm recommending to everybody, better to have one-time sign-up process with Oracle website. Why? Because that store is not going to be ended today. Then continuously we are going to download so many products from the Oracle website. Maybe at present I'm downloading Oracle here. Maybe Java I required here. Java I required now. Then Oracle I required here. Maybe in the future MySQL also I'm able to download from Oracle website only. So many products I'm going to use from Oracle website. So one time better to have one account with Oracle website than try to use the same thing for every time of our required downloads now. Right, sir. Almost all it is in 1.8, 1.4 is completed. Less than 1 minute you have to wait. Even first time I'm using this 21 Express edition. Previously I might be used 18 XE now. This time I'm using 21 Express edition. Let me check it. How much it is difficult or how much it is simple. All right, all the Express editions utilization is very same. All the Express editions utilization is very same. We don't have any we don't have any differentiation about the utilization here. Why? Because we are not going to talk at the admin level. We are going to talk at what they are not developer level only. So developer level in the sense just to use the content is sufficient. Right. So that's okay. Now it's got downloaded totally. Now show in folder. Right, sir. Now here we are getting this one. Now cut it. I want to keep all my softwares in E drive. Then inside this E drive, softwares. Now here, what we are having there, databases. Now we don't have anything like this. Now here new folder here I want to create that. Now this is like what there, databases. Now inside this, now this is like what I'm telling there, Oracle database, Oracle folder. Then where I'm going to keep this one, paste. Right, sir. Now anyway here we are getting like what there, my Oracle database setup. Here we are getting. Now what next one here? After that, right click on this one and extort here. Just I want to extort here. There I'm able to get like what there directly. Oh, 1 minute guys, something is going to be happen. 1 minute. So I thought of it, a folder will come there, but so many things are coming. Setup file is available anyway. My required thing is existed here. Right. Inside this Oracle 21XE here I have taken. Now inside this I extracted everything. Now try to understand this clearly. So actually my zip file is available. Where is my zip file? Actually this is my zip file. When I extract this, automatically here we are getting what they know, the total setup files and everything here we are getting there. Observe carefully, Oracle database 21C Express edition. This is Windows installer. Am I right or not? Setup is available here. I think so. Maybe Windows installer is available directly. I'm going to click on this installer here now, right? If I click on this one, automatically we are able, or maybe we can click on this setup file also. Okay, now let me go for it. Oracle database 21C Express edition, or maybe setup file, both are available. Let me go for either of the things. Now first of all, let me go for this first one here now, installer here. Right, sir. Now observe carefully. Now here I'm trying to install this. Again, I'm telling to you, in my system, that installation process may be a bit quicker. Why? Because I'm using very good RAM, right? Very good amount of RAM here. It may be somewhat faster, but in our systems, it may be somewhat slower, but try to recognize it. Now here, click on like what the next button. I accept terms in the license agreement here. Now try to click on like what the next button. The location it is asking there, C app administrator product 21C. But you know already I don't like to install my products at any different locations here. Directly I want to install everything under what there, C drive. Now let me click on like what the change button. Now here we are able to have some locations here. What is that location here I'm going to have there? Just let me prepare one location for me. In a C drive, previously Oracle 18xe is available that I already uninstalled. Okay, even not required for us this now. Okay, now here what next one here? No, all different things are available, not required here. Just I want to remove all of them, but anyway I want to create a newer one here without deleting all of them. Then what's the new folder here I want to create here? My new folder is like what there? Oracle 21xe is a folder name here I have taken. Inside this folder only I want to keep like what there? This particular Oracle database here. Now let me go for it now. What is the location here I have to select there? C drive, that means C drive. Inside the C drive, what are the locations are available? All locations are available here. Then what is my location here now? Oracle 21x is just now I created there. Right, so select it now. Then there automatically my location will be finalized. What is the location here now? See Oracle 21xe. There all I want to install it. Now click on like what there now? Next button. Now here enter database password, confirm database password. Then the password will be used for what the things know system and PDB admin accounts. For these accounts here we have to enter something else. Okay, for management point of view might be we are going to use system. System is username here and schema name or username whatever it may be. Then passwords here we have to provide like what there our own password. Now in my system I want to give my password is like what there Durga. And here also what I am providing the password here no Durga. Both are Durga and Durga. Call to Harsha. Both are Durga and Durga. Then click on like what there next button. What next button is available here? Now if you click on next button, destination folder is what there? See Oracle 21xe. Oracle home is what there? See Oracle 21xe DB home xe. Please remember this. And Oracle base is what there? See Oracle 21xe. Please remember this one guys. The middle one, Oracle home. Maybe in the future we may use this location there. But of course, one more point I'm telling there, whenever we are trying to install Oracle database, no, part of the installation, all the required settings are going to be performed by Oracle software. Like a path environment variable or something else, Oracle home, everything would be taken care by what there? This Oracle software installation process, where we are not going to set anything extra. If it's the Java software, I have to set path explicitly. But in the case of Oracle software, everything would be taken care by what there? Oracle database installation process. Right. So the next one is like what there? We have to click on what button here? No, install button. Click on install button here. Now automatically this product is going to be installed. Installing Oracle database 1221C Express Edition. Right, sir. It is trying to be installed here. In the case if any problem is coming there, then again there is a lot of process to come out from this process and again to reinstall that one. So that's why anyway then, until and unless it is not giving that failure case of the installation, don't click on cancel buttons, don't click on back buttons, don't close this window. I get my point or not? If it is given the cancellation of the installation or the failure case of the installation, then only we have to check for the alternative. Yes, guys, all of you get my point or not? Right, sir. Now anyway, then I am keeping this for installation there. Definitely it's going to be installed. Then what is the next step here now after completion of this? After completion of this, then what is the next step here? Even password also we have given for it. What is the next step here now? Maybe if it may come one more next button. If we click on one more next button, it maybe again it may get another install button, or otherwise directly it may provide what their close button. Close button, whenever we are getting there, the total installation is going to be closed. Whenever it is completing its installation there, then we are able to keep aside, we are able to use this particular database. Yes, guys, all of you get my point or not? But this is a process here I'm telling you. But anyway, up to this process I shown here, try the same thing in our system. If we are not having database in our system, if you have already database in our system, not required to go for this particular one. Understand my point here? Then after that, what I'm telling there, then if you are trying to install it, at the end we are able to get maybe one more next button or one more close button. Then only we are able to get it clearly. Right, sir? That's okay, fine. Then tomorrow I'm going to show the remaining steps clearly. Tomorrow max we are going to talk about JDB's logic effectively. Right? That's all, guys. That's all for today. You are going to understand the remaining part and tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on tomorrow.